All water in the sea is connected into one giant global ocean. However, we humans have identified 5 smaller areas within this one giant global ocean. And the names of those smaller areas are the Atlantic Ocean, the Pacific Ocean, the Indian Ocean, the Southern Ocean, and the Arctic Ocean. Okay, so we have 5 smaller oceans, but they're all connected, and water can move from one area or one ocean to another without any problem. However, each area has its own group of creatures and plants that live in that particular ocean. And you won't find the same creatures in one ocean as a different ocean. So in the Arctic, you're going to find polar bears and walruses. And in the Pacific, you'll find sea turtles and corals. But you won't find polar bears in the Pacific, and you won't find sea turtles in the Arctic. So each ocean area has its own set of creatures. And this set, or this group of different creatures, is called the ocean ecosystem. So ecosystem just basically means ecological system, and ecological means natural, like environment, our surroundings, the ecology, our ecology, the ocean's ecology, or the ocean's ecosystem. So we have these ecosystems within the ocean, and we represent these ecosystems through drawing food webs. Okay, so food webs, as the name suggests, are a bit webby. Help! I'm stuck in a web. But you can see here, you can see the lines coming up through between different creatures. And that explains, if you remember, how the organisms, how the creatures interact with one another. So in this diagram here, you can see that seabirds here have a line going all the way down to fish, and that's because seabirds like to eat fish. So each of these lines basically describes how creatures rely on each other or even eat each other, and therefore this shows us that fish are rather important in the ocean ecosystem because seabirds eat them, and without fish, seabirds would not survive. Okay, so we're going to look at a food web in more detail. Okay, so I'm going to say goodbye to you now, from the screen at least, and replace myself with a food web. So generally, marine food webs can be split into 5 different levels. And if you look closely at this diagram, you can see the different numbers before the word. So we have 1 up in the top right-hand corner, and this is a very simple level because the only thing on this first level is the sun. Now, the sun is a very important source of energy for almost all ocean ecosystems. And the energy from the sun allows billions and billions and billions of very small, tiny, microscopic creatures and plants to grow. These small creatures or plants are called plankton, and they are found at level 2 in the food chain. Lots of them have very beautiful body shapes, as you can see in the diagram. And because there are so many plankton in the sea, they are an important food source for other sea creatures. Even the world's biggest creature, which is, you should know that by now, yep, you got it right, a blue whale. So the blue whale survives by eating just plankton. And creatures that eat just plankton are called planktivores. And planktivores are found on level 3 of the food web. So other planktivores you can see on this food web are jellyfish, as you can see here. Jellyfish also has a number 3 next to it. And also the deep sea invertebrates, so things like sea cucumbers or mussels or crabs. A lot of those tend to be planktivores as well. So planktivores means that the creature who is a planktivore is eating just plankton to survive. On the next level, level 4, you find bigger creatures beginning to hunt and eat one another. The old saying, big fish eat little fish, is a good one to remember for this level. So a tuna fish might eat a codfish, and the codfish might eat a sardine fish. The final level is the top level, and it contains the ocean's top predators. So you can see those here with the number 5 written before them. And they hunt with intelligence, and very few things or creatures hunt them. So in this category, we have things like sharks, whales, dolphins, and some seabirds. So you can see just how many lines there are in this very, very simple food web. So this is a very simplified representation of an ocean food web. There are many, 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 many billions more creatures and millions and thousands in the sea, in any ocean ecosystem. And this is just a very simple version. But even in this very simple version, you can see so many different lines going in between the different creatures. It's basically, ocean ecosystems, they're a complicated system, and it's all about balance. If one link or one line or one relationship is destroyed or threatened, then that can create problems for other creatures in the food web. So if jellyfish disappeared for some reason, then some sea turtles would have a difficulty surviving. And then if sea turtles had difficulty surviving, then there would be knock-on repercussions for other creatures who may eat sea turtles. So you can see that there is a lot of connection in this food web, and each part relies on another part for to be able to survive. Okay, so now it's your turn to have a closer look at this marine food web. This section continues with the next link, so just go back into the classroom and choose the next section down, and that will allow you to explore the marine food web that we've just had a quick brief overview look at. So to move around, once you're in the food web, you can move around by pressing the left and right arrow keys. Okay, enjoy.